Hello, my name is Kerry Arth, and today we're going to talk about Warhammer 40,000 8th edition and the Codex release schedule, whichever you want to, whichever pronunciation. It's fine, either way, I'll take it. And there's been a couple of suggestions that I personally have seen on Fayet212 or natka.blogspot.co.uk, whichever you want to call it. And look, I'm going to be honest, one of these lists is reasonable and I kind of like the sound of it and I think it's the right way to go. The other one seems not reasonable. It seems like just bullshit on the highest order, if true. Now, someone has come out and said that neither of these lists are accurate, but then again, it's two different lists, it's two different suggestions, and now it's someone else just saying no, neither list are right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the two lists. We are going to then discuss whether that either of those seem feasible, viable, and whether they would work if that was the case, and then discuss the fact that if that's not the case, if in fact it's going to be different again to what these two people are suggesting, what would be a sensible schedule for this stuff. See, now I can't decide whether I'm going to say schedule or schedule, so it's completely thrown me. I shouldn't have drawn attention to it. So, list number one suggests that Death Guard is out in September, which, well, we know that to be true because Games Workshop already said so. Tau and Adeptus Mechanicus in October. Now, I'm saying Adeptus Mechanicus, it's actually just written down as AM, so that could have actually been initially written down as Astra Militarum. It depends on whether this person knew that the two codexes for Adeptus Mechanicus were going to be merged into one, because before there was Mechanicus and the other one was Skitarii. So if they did know they were going to be merged and it was just going to be called Adeptus Mechanicus, great, they could be onto something there. If not, then that could be wrong. And to be honest, I've seen AM shortened in reference to Astra Militarum far more than anything else, so I don't know, it could go either way. They then suggest Tyranid and Blood Angels in November, and Necrons and Thousand Suns in December. Now, if that one were to be true, and it's, as I say, someone has already said that it's not, that I think would actually be quite a good spread, quite a sensible spread. You'd have a nice mix of loyal armies, which would be good, and a nice mix of Xenos stuff, because let's face it, we don't really be wanting to wait until next fucking year for things like Tau and Tyranids and Necrons and all of that stuff. We don't want that because that's gash, because it would just mean that the Imperium and Chaos are getting all of the love. It'd be very Space Marine heavy, which would frankly suck, and I wouldn't like that. And that brings us neatly onto the other list. Now, the other list is, no, not good. No. No, this list, if this was turned out to be true, I would be annoyed. As someone who has no Xenos armies in any sense at all, I would be pissed if this turned out to be true. So, the other suggestion is that the 10 Codex release of 2017 would be finished off with Thousand Suns, Astra Militarum, Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Space Wolves. Now, if that list turned out to be accurate, and as I say, it's worth pointing out that another person, another source, who actually seems to have got a couple of things right, or at least is trusted by Fayet212, if that turned out to be true, that would be bollocks. That would be awful, because you would have, like, maybe not 3 months in a row, but you would have Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and Space Wolves coming out in close proximity. And that, together with Astra Militarum and Thousand Suns, essentially means that Chaos and the Imperium get everything. And if you're playing anything other than Chaos or the Imperium, you can just fuck off. That's what that would mean. If that turned out to be true, that's what that would mean. And that would suck hardcore, because people who don't go for the standard, the old standard of Imperium versus Chaos would just be left out in the cold. You'd have no codexes for, well, until next year. Just no. No. So those are the two lists. Someone has said that neither list is actually accurate. Let me just get the actual thing. This is apparently from an excellent source. And they're just chiming in to say that those are rumours, they're not factual, and they're wrong. Both release orders in the last couple of days are inaccurate in regards to what is on the list and what is not on it, and they cannot fill you in more than that. So, by the look of it, both of these leaks are incorrect. But what that does is that gives us a nice opportunity to, I guess, put together a little wish list of what would be nice to see, what codex we would like to see come out before next year, because as I say, just going for the Imperium and Chaos angle, that would be garbage. I would not like that at all. I would feel bad for everyone who didn't play either of those flavours, and it would not go down well with the fan base, let's be honest. I know Space Marines rule the roost, they've got all of the fucking customers, but you still don't want to tell a significant part of your player base, yeah, you can just wait until next year for all of your stuff. You don't want to do that. What I'd actually like to see is closer to that first list. A spread. I mean, they're going to focus. Games Workshop are going to focus more heavily on Space Marine based stuff. They just are. You know, we've got relatively new models for Thousand Suns. We've got new models for Death Guard. And part of that is giving an increased focus to Chaos. You know, that is inherently part of that. You want to drive them Chaos sales with new models for other armies, because you can include those models in just a normal Chaos Space Marine army. And obviously, you're going to want to push Space Marine stuff. With the Primaris models out, with the Redemptor and all the other stuff that's come out for them, you're going to want to actually push things like Blood Angels, Dark Angels and Space Wolves, because they can take Primaris, and Games Workshop want you to buy Primaris, and lots of them. And so I can understand that being the focus. That being said, you would irritate a significant number of people. So honestly, I'd quite like to see a nice spread of a bit of everything. If they did announce Tau to come out around the same time as Adeptus Mechanicus, that would be awesome. Now, what I'm assuming they'll do is they will have kind of, not a big release, but there will be a codex where not much has had to be changed alongside a codex that has undergone significant change. That would make sense to me. So things like Tau and Adeptus Mechanicus would, to me, kind of make sense a bit. I mean, Tau have had a couple of fairly big alterations to what some of their units do. I'm looking at you, shield drones, and stuff like that. So it would kind of make sense to me that they would put together stuff like that. If they did do a nice mix where it is either Chaos or Imperium and a Xenos army of some kind, I think that would be kind of perfect, to be honest. I would like that to be the case, especially for, dare I say it, especially for things like Necrons. Like, I'd like to see Necrons come out sooner rather than later, because at least one significant Necron character was seriously part of Gathering Storm and everything that set 8th edition up. But, you know, not having Necrons be kind of in the initial wave, or, you know, not coming out in the first year of 8th, that seems a bit off to me. It seems a bit off in the same way that having that all that stuff happen and there being no new Abaddon, however, model was a bit off. It was like, look at these brand new Thousand Suns. Oh, look at the hint of Death Guard. Sorry, the Black Legion invaded. Where's all the new Chaos shit? Ooh, I don't know. It's kind of, it feels a little bit like that. So having an increased presence in terms of Necrons, that would be good. I have to admit, if they don't release Tyranids and Blood Angels alongside each other, then they've missed a trick, because a bigger part of the Blood Angel story is getting wrecked by Tyranids until, well, admittedly, until fucking Gilliman turns up and saves the day again. Just the old Deus Ex Gilliman. And I kind of feel like if that's not true, then it should have been. In fact, there's a couple of things on here. The Necrons and Thousand Suns, I'm not too bothered about. Releasing Tau alongside Adeptus Mechanicus, or at least having them come out in the same month, that kind of makes sense to me, just because it would be two relatively not difficult codexes, but I think probably Tau needs a little bit of looking at, because from what I've seen, a lot of stuff for them is not quite as it should be. That's just what someone I know who plays Tau has told me, by the way. They could just be off their face, they could be talking shite, but that's the impression that I've got from them. Not releasing Tyranids and Blood Angels together would be just a total misstep. It would be daft, because you could use that as an opportunity to push both, and hopefully they do. Necrons and Thousand Suns don't really have that much of a crossover, so I don't know whether that'd be even relevant, but I have to say, out of the two lists that are apparently incorrect, my wish list is the first one. Released something in that form. The second one that is just Chaos, just Imperium, no. The one that it actually has a nice mix of Xenos races as well. Yeah, give me that. Give me that. Even if it's not exactly that, give me that. That would be the ultimate way to do it for me. Make sure it's nicely spread out. Make sure you're covering all the bases. Make sure all the players are happy. Don't just give them one flavour of shit, because that's not on. That's not how you do it. And especially off the back of a new edition, you don't want to alienate people right, like straight off the bat. They've already dropped the ball in that respect in a way by running the Connor campaign before the Chaos Space Marine Codex dropped. But they already did that, where it's like, yes, you should be fighting against each other. Oh, awesome. Do we have a Codex? No, only Space Marines get a Codex. Oh, well, great, thank you. Don't do that again. Keep it a nice mix. Get some Xenos in there. Don't just make it Imperium, nothing but Imperium, because people are sick of it. And we'll all be happy campers, I suspect. Anyway, I said that was going to be a shorter video than usual, and it absolutely wasn't. So, I apologise. Thank you very much for watching. As always, there's the usual stuff all over there. Let me know what you think below, what kind of release schedule you'd like to see, how you want them to intersperse the Xenos stuff, whether you think they should just dump all the Xenos ones in a couple of months and just get them out there so that everyone's on even playing field. Just what do you reckon? In the meantime, I will leave you to click all of these things if you want to. Don't have to. I'll see you for the next one. Toodaloo.